What's going on, everybody? We're back again with some more facts about Southeast Asian countries. Today we got 10 surprising facts about Vietnam. So I love Vietnam. I want to visit all around Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, these different countries in the Southeast Asian area when I'm older. Today we're going to be learning about these different facts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy. Please tell me down below other surprising facts about Vietnam, and let's go, guys.
Vietnam is a very fascinating and unique one. It is a Southeast Asian country on the South China Sea, and in this episode, I'm excited to bring you 10 surprising and interesting facts about Vietnam. Welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and now before we get into the facts and everything, make sure to leave a like on this video if you love learning, especially learning about new countries. And also, if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. That way you can keep up to date with our daily episodes. All right, guys, so let's jump into the facts, starting at number 10. Now, one thing that's definitely interesting about Vietnam is that in the country, there are a lot of bikes, like a whole lot of bikes, motorcycles, scooters, you name it. Now, this is because motorcycles have become so popular that they just started outnumbering cars. Now, in the country, there are estimated 37 million motorcycles that are riding around, with only 2 million cars in total. Now, in Vietnam, many people use the trains, and they'll sometimes buy a ticket for themselves, and yes, a ticket for their bike to travel with them, especially if they're going long distances. Now, because there's so many people that are using them, it's actually the law to make sure you wear a helmet, as well as international drivers. Well, you have to get a license despite having your own driver's license. Unfortunately, though, in the city of Hanoi, there are approximately 5 million bikes to 7 million people, with officials stating that in some area, the number of bikes are 1.4 to 3.72 times the capacity for a road. And it's become a major problem that the city is actually planning on banning bikes by the year 2030. But before any of this happens, more public transportation has to be set up and put in place. Now, the next thing
we don't really have many bikes in Ireland, guys. We have a lot, but it's not like anything too crazy. You'd probably see one once or twice while driving, but it's nothing like, the cars here. Most people have cars or Jeeps.
Talk about when it comes to Vietnam is the coffee. So when it comes to Vietnamese coffee, they export a lot of it, although not one of their major exports compared to electronic equipment. But after Brazil, the country of Vietnam is the second largest exporter or supplier of coffee in the world. Because it was first introduced in the country via the French back in 1857, it became a major source for their economy. And then fast forward in the year 2019, Reuters actually said that it produced 1.9 million tons of coffee that year. And then in the year 2012, it exported $1.2 billion worth of coffee. And then in Vietnam, the majority of the coffee houses are state-owned, but Highlands Coffee was the first private company in Vietnam in 1998 after seeing a major rise in Starbucks shops popping up. Now, there's another interesting but kind of rude fact about Vietnam. It's that if you want to express...
Wait, before we get to that one, guys, we love coffee a lot in Ireland, guys. I would say coffee is huge, but our number one export is beef. Red beef, guys. Red meat is the number one thing we have in Ireland. We have the best red beef in the world, in my personal opinion.
Interesting but kind of rude fact about Vietnam. It's that if you want to express your contempt towards someone in Vietnam, you got to make this finger gesture. Like, I'll put up a photo on the screen, like just giving you a heads up in case.
You're so selfish.
This guy's not expressing his love.
What an idiot.
It's not my fault we're always...
You're planning a trip to go to Vietnam. I think I'm good though, because I can't even make the symbol. Like, I can try, I've been trying before I started to film. I'm trying now. I'm just not that flexible.
Yeah, me neither.
So I guess I'm good then. I'm not going to be offending nobody over in Vietnam. But moving on to some more facts, the Ha Long Bay is one of the many UNESCO zones that are in Vietnam. Now, this bay includes approximately 16...
Bro, look at that. That is unbelievable, guys. That looks like a goddamn movie. I think they filmed Avatar or some kind of thing there. Avatar is one of those crazy movies with the landscape, but I'm pretty sure they filmed the crazy movies here.
1,500 islands, and it became a national monument back in the year 1962. But it was inscribed as a UNESCO zone in the year 1994. And now one thing that's important about the Ha Long Bay is that it has been around forever and has gone through many changes. It's estimated that it has gone through at least 500 million geological changes. Now, there was a time way back in history that it was a deep sea, but from about 340 to 240 years ago, it became very shallow. And today it has 14 endemic floral species, as well as the area has been a major influence to Vietnam's history, having over 5,000 years of cultural significance. Now in Vietnam, there's a cave called the Sang Dung, and some people may think that it's the longest cave in the world, but it's actually the largest known cave passage cross-section in the world. Now it's located near the Laos-Vietnam border, and it was only discovered back in the year 1991. And by the year 2009, it got its record of being the largest cave passage, and it sits at...
We have one of the largest cliff faces in the world, the cliffs of Moher in Clare, guys, in Ireland, but nothing like this. This is crazy.
5 kilometers long, being 660 feet high and 490 feet wide. I mean, it's pretty impressive. It also has some of the largest stalagmites. It's estimated that some of these stalagmites are 70 meters tall.
Damn, bruh. That's insane, brother.
Alright guys, so the next thing I want to talk about is the Soi Tien Amusement Park. They have a man-made beach there, they have tons of rides, and it's also really cool and a fascinating place. It's very colorful, and you can find Buddhist statues all around the park. They also have giant pendulums for rides, Ferris wheels, which they call a windmill, and it's also the home to Vietnam's first ever roller coaster. It's simply called the roller coaster, and it has 7 cars running, and the highest point
Keep the name simple,
being 30 meters with a length of 1.2 miles, and it goes up to 200 kilometers fast. Now, it's the most expensive roller coaster in Vietnam, costing 30 billion dong. Now, of course, it's not as big as some other roller coasters that you're going to find in different parts of the world, but you know, this was really important because it was their first big roller coaster. Moving on now to fact number 4. So Ho Chi Minh and Nguyen pronounce, actually it's not even Nguyen. I thought it was pronounced Nguyen all my life, but it's actually pronounced Nguyen. Literally, I just learned that when I was researching for this video. But anyways, those 2 names are the 2 most common names that you'll find in Vietnam. So the name Nguyen, spelled Nguyen, is the most popular family name in Vietnam, and it's used by around 40% of the population.
The most popular names in Ireland are as follows. Number 1, last name, Murphy. Number 2, O'Sullivan. Number 3, Kelly. And number 4, Walsh. So shout out to the Walshes. I'm a Walsh, obviously. Gotta have the Strauss Walsh in there, guys, to differentiate. Can't be the same as everybody else. But yeah, shout out to the Walshes.
And it's also the birth name of the famous Ho Chi Minh. Now, Ho Chi Minh led the fight for independence against the French and the Japanese. And then during the following US war, he was seen as such an important symbol of unification that in the year 1976, Saigon was renamed Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam is also the world's largest exporter of cashew nuts. So check this. This is really nuts. So check this. They produce 37% of the global number of cashew nuts. So the nut itself,
that's a lot of nuts,
is in fact the seed that grows at the bottom of the cashew apple, which is a fruit that's rich in nutrients, and it contains 5 times the amount of vitamin C than oranges. Now the cashew tree is native to Brazil, but Vietnam looks like it produces a lot more of them.
Each cashew comes encased in a pod that's attached to a large fruit called a cashew apple. It's a rare example where the seed grows outside the fruit.
For fact number 2, I want to introduce...
That's like so crazy. They have to like harvest so many.
Ong Tao. Ong Tao is also known as Mandarin Tao, or the kitchen god, and is regarded in Vietnamese culture as the emissary between heaven and earth. So according to the legend, Ong Tao makes an appearance just before the Vietnamese New Year Tet festival, and during this time period he actually rushes up to heaven to give his annual report to God for all the activities of the families that have happened on the earth, and then this report determines the fate of each household in the new year. So Vietnamese people regard Ong Tao as a family member, and various prayers and offerings are brought to him at at the family altar.
That's class.
And finally, the last fact I want to share about Vietnam is about sports, actually. So when it comes to the sport soccer, or most people call that football, it's a very popular sport in Vietnam. In 1991,
it's also the most popular sport in the world.
Vietnam was reintroduced to the international world stage, competing at the Southeast Asia Games. And by 2016, it marked the year where they first qualified to join FIFA and competed in the FIFA Futsal World Cup, eventually getting up to round 16. Now, speaking of sports, you know, when it comes to martial arts, and it's not just jiu-jitsu or kung fu that Vietnam is really known for, but rather it's a type of martial arts called Vo Vi Nam. And now this Vietnamese created martial arts is based on the yin yang theory. And you know, in some cases, other martial arts focus on hard over soft or vice versa. However, Vo Vi Nam remains completely balanced in hard and soft techniques, which can be translated into meaning strong or weak, or opposition or yielding attacks.
Khi gặp trong những tình huống khó khăn.
I like that.
Alright guys, so just...
He sold that one. I love that though, guys. I love martial arts. One of my favorite things ever. In Ireland, we don't really do a ton of martial arts. I think it was like 30% or 15% of the population does martial arts. I'd say it's less than that, but yeah, we love martial arts.
Like that, those were 10 surprising, interesting facts about...
Guys, tell me what you think about those facts from Vietnam. I'm not sure if they're all correct. I will do another video on that, but yeah, absolutely love that. I love you guys all. Shout out to more of my loyal Vietnam fan base. Leave in the comments down below other videos and other rappers and singers in Vietnam that I should react to, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.